And joining us now to dig deeper, criminal defense attorney Brian Claypool. Brian, it's always great to see you. Thank you for being here. So Murdoch admitted to a lot of these financial crimes while under oath in his murder trial. Do you anticipate a guilty plea?
Hey, Kelly, great to be back with you. You raise a colossal point that the lawyers for Murdoch should have made in court today, and that is that there should not be a trial date on the state court financial claims. Why? Because there is going to be an appeal for a new trial based on jury tampering by Rebecca Hill. Now, why is that important? Because, like you said, Murdoch gave testimony in his murder trial about these financial crimes. Some of that testimony, he was implicating himself. As I recall even seeing it, I think he even admitted to some of these financial crimes when he testified. This judge should not be setting a trial date in the financial crimes case until there is a resolution of an appeal on the new trial, because otherwise, Kelly, the prosecutors are going to be using his testimony at the other trial to try to impeach him, to impeach Murdoch in the financial crimes trial. And all of that testimony might be thrown out of court if there's an appeal that's granted.
Wow. So you're right, and I appreciate that perspective. And to your point, Murdoch's attorneys, as you mentioned, they won a new trial, arguing that court clerk pressured the jury to find him guilty. Do you think he's going to get it?
I do think he's going to get it. And the reason why is because these allegations are staggering. I mean, it's not only an allegation that Rebecca Hill was trying to tell jurors, hey, don't pay attention to that testimony, and encouraging them to find guilty verdicts. She actually allegedly manufactured a fake Facebook post by one of the jurors that was taken off the case after closing arguments. And it turned out that Facebook post was not accurate. And you have two affidavits, one from a juror that made it all the way through the case, and then one from a juror who was kicked off the case. So that's actual tangible evidence from two jurors saying that Rebecca Hill did intimidating things. So I think clearly there's going to be a new trial, and who knows? I mean, SLED, South Carolina Law Enforcement Division, is actually investigating now Rebecca Hill.
And I do want to ask you about her in just a moment. But first, the judge who presided over the murder trial, he had some very harsh words for Murdoch at sentencing. This is the same judge he's facing in the financial crimes case. Do you think that's significant, Brian?
Another great question. I do, actually. If I'm representing Murdoch, I'm filing a motion to recuse this judge. He has made some personal comments about Murdoch that resonate with animus toward Murdoch. And now you're going to have the same judge in the next trial. Aren't we supposed to have judges who are fair and unbiased? And again, Kelly, I can't emphasize enough, I believe this ruling today is wrong to set a trial date, because I'm telling you, we're going to be back here again, because all of Murdoch's testimony, some of it's going to be used in this next trial, and that testimony could be tossed out forever if this appeal is granted.
A lot to consider here. So the defense made some shocking allegations against the clerk of the court. You mentioned this earlier, who's now under investigation. Do you think she will ultimately face charges?
Well, that's a tough question to answer, because on the face of it, there is a law in South Carolina, and by the way, it's a felony, for someone to intimidate or coerce jurors, but it has to be done with some type of force or intimidation. And I think it's going to be hard for prosecutors to prove that Rebecca Hill was actually using some kind of duress or force to have these jurors find in favor of convicting Murdoch. There might be some type of misdemeanor charge that prosecutors can find, but rest assured, these allegations, if proven or supported by these affidavits by jurors, I think you're likely to see some type of lighter charges filed by prosecutors, because come on, Kelly, they have to send a message. This is a courtroom clerk. They have to send a message that you cannot do this and interfere with the justice system.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.